Hey there, StarCraft fans! It's Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered! Today it's going to be a match between WhiteRa and Soot here on Fighting Spirit. Bottom left-hand corner is the orange Protoss player WhiteRa. He is Ukrainian, and in the bottom right it is the player. He is blue, he is Zerg, he is Soot. Now, I don't know who Soot is, but I figure if he can hang with WhiteRa in a macro game in ZVP, then he is pretty darn amazing. I've discovered a lot of incredible players by just casting games of theirs against well-known players like Castro and Siki. And let's see how Soot is going to do here today against WhiteRa. Hit that like button if you haven't already. I appreciate it. It helps the YouTube algorithm recognize that people are enjoying my content. And fun fact, thumbs down count the same as thumbs up. YouTube just cares about interaction from viewers. Whoa, hold on. What did I just do? Oh, I did the wrong thing. Wrong key combination. So here goes the Probe Scout. The historical, precedented Probe Scout. Bisu usually scouts the wrong way in games that I cast of his on this particular map. Generally leads to longer style macro games, because if he finds you fast, he will kill you fast, is how he likes to play. On the other hand, if he finds you late and you've already set up some kind of defense, then obviously he can't kill you very quickly, and that is a rough place for him to be. So I watched a bunch of Artosis the other night, streaming out on twitch.tv. Salty guy. He gets real mad when he loses. He even gets mad when he wins sometimes, which is always very fun. But basically, somebody did it was like an Ultra Rush against him. It was a 3-base, Ultras out in 10 minutes build, which means no Defilers, right? Because obviously you can't get your Defilers out if you're rushing for Ultras that fast. But basically what it came down to was Artosis was able to handle it with Marines. He basically said what you need to do is get +2 attack, because the Ultras are going to have +2 armor, and then you can handle them, because you're going to have more Marines than the Ultras. Just concave it, right? Have some units in front kind of tanking a little bit. Have some medics. They're not going to have any Dark Swarm available, so don't worry about that. Your Marines will do better than they normally would. And yeah, it was a lot of Ultras, but Artosis won the game. And he said this is happening more and more often on the ladder. It's apparently really easy to do for Zerg players, but if you scout it and see it coming, then you're fine. And he did. He was able to SCV scout an early evolution chamber, which is apparently the tell for this, prepared for it, and shut it down. It was crazy. It was a crazy match. Anyway, Artosis is kind of fun to watch. His own chat trolls him quite a bit. I think part of that is because he's very responsive to chat and gets upset when they troll him, so that just feeds back into the whole thing. I think generally that's how that works for anything on Twitch. Anything with live feedback, right? Anyway, good times, man. Artosis, what a guy. Alright, so 3 hatch in it pretty quick here. That is a quick 3rd hatch in the top right-hand base here for the Zerg player. His pool is now done, but that was definitely a hatch first play. And just Forge expanding here is WhiteRa. Got a gateway coming up. Only 1 cannon, because he's not really worried about a bunch of lings showing up with that build. And that's about it. So pretty darn macro style opening, which makes a ton of sense considering this is a longer macro style game. Or is this a sneaky twofer? You don't know. Sneaky twofers, man, they will get you. They'll get you when you least expect them. I promise you that. Maybe I'll do that. I have ideas. I'm not going to tell you what they are because that will ruin the surprise. But I have ideas about this stuff. Anywho, Probe's like, is there a 3rd base down here? No. Why? No Zerg's going to take this 3rd base. They're going to take it up here. This is how you do against Protoss. And Fighting Spirit, you expand across the map from the Protoss, take the low ground, throw down a couple Sunkens, maybe some Evolution Chambers and a Spore if you're worried about DTs, and then get Hydras out as soon as you can and handle that big old Zealot attack that's going to come to your 3rd base sooner rather than later, and then expand into the high ground. Against Terran, take the high ground first, put some Lurkers on the top of the ramp, secure it, and then secure your 4th base on the low ground. Meanwhile, Protoss, pretty much, they don't really have that sort of thing. They want to stay closer to home because their units are slower, and it's harder to respond to threats because they don't have, number 1, fast units like Speedlings and Hydralisks, but also they don't have Nidus Canals like Zerg do, which is really nice for the Zerg. So what you want to do is stay closer to home. Maybe expanding towards the Zerg player. Others prefer to expand away from the Zerg player. Cannons are amazingly good at defense early, and then once you start getting things like Dark Swarm, you want things like Storm and Reavers instead. It's a pattern. It's a pattern we follow. Stargate, Citadel of Adun coming in. This could be a Corsair DT opening. Soot's APM is pretty impressive at about 250. It's higher than WhiteRa's, but Protoss players on average have a lower APM than their fellow compatriots in StarCraft. It's just how it is. It's just the nature of the beast. They're a slower, more ponderous race. Their APM doesn't have to be nuts. Spire and a Hydralisk Den coming in. This has been more and more common on the channel. More and more players going for both Mutalisks and Lurkers to deal with, well, to deal with Zerg, and I guess no, in this case it would be Scourge, right? You're not going to go Mutalisks. You can. We have seen a few Zerg players recently going Mutalisks against a Protoss player who opened Corsairs and has a lot of Corsairs. This Zealot positioning is so good. I guess 4 Lings can still kill it, though, so not as good as I thought. I thought if only 1 Ling can hit it at a time on either side, that's better than getting surrounded and killed by 4 Lings at once, but it was not as good. Not as good as I wanted it to be, I suppose. So far, we're just going for leg enhancements, which if you're playing in a PvZ and you don't get legs for your Zealots, you're probably going to lose. Just a pro tip for you there. 4th base coming up, getting secured by Soot, no problemo. And so far, so good. All right, so Gateway, nothing crazy happening here. We're going for a Templar Archives fast would probably mean DTs, but I don't see anything like that. It is a couple Mutalisks. What? Why are you making Mutalisks? Obviously, there are Corsairs out already. You have Hydras to deal with the Corsairs. You don't need the Mutas for that. He's going to toss up, I'm assuming he's going to start throwing up cannons in his mineral lines once he sees that Mutas are out. But maybe these are surprise Mutalisks. Maybe these are just Mutas that are going to pop out. There's only 2 of them. Because again, you don't have the gas to go for a lot of Mutas and Hydralisks and Scourge at 6 minutes into the game. He just don't have enough gas to do all that stuff. You can go for some Mutalisks, and he is. He's going for 3 more Mutas. He's not really hiding them. They're pretty much right out in front in open here. But yeah, there's your Sunken. Here comes the traditional Zealot attack up to the 3rd base to see what damage can be done. Evolution Chamber? No, another creep colony. Hydras? Nope, drones. This 3rd base might be in the smallest bit of trouble right now. If there's only a couple Sunkens, like 1 Sunken. Evolution Chamber here? No? Alright, here we go. Zealots take down the Hydralisk before it gets up here because the Hydras do not have speed. Because again, you don't have the gas for speed as well. But I guess the Mutas are halfway decent at taking down the Zealots, mostly because the Zealots can't shoot up. But they don't do a lot of damage output versus these guys because of the base armor that they have already. But Ling Mutalisk actually used to defend the 3rd base successfully. Wow. All right. Who knew? I mean, why would you bring your Corsairs up to that engagement? Seems like a bad idea, but yeah, WhiteRa wasn't doing it. I don't see why not. He's got, I mean, it's a 1-to-1 ratio here with the Corsairs to the Mutalisks, but they're pulling back regardless. They have a cannon they can fall back to. There's a cannon coming up the mineral lines now. He knows there's Mutalisks present. He just doesn't want to die to the Mutas. Every Protoss player has had that experience where they've died to Mutalisks in the past, and it leaves a very big scar on their psyches. It is some DTs on the way from WhiteRa, and a very quick Queen's Nest from Soot here, but he's on 4 bases, so like, hey, go for the Queen's Nest. Let's go. Let's tech up. Let's get to that Dark Swarm. Let's get to that Plague. Armies passing in the night. That is a huge... Ugh, these guys are trying to make me look bad. I'm like, well, obviously, there's Corsairs out. The Zerg player's not going to make a lot of Mutalisks, and then he makes like 9, so cool. Way to go, man. DT heading to the top right. There is an Overlord and a Sunken here, which is pretty much all the key ingredients you need to deal with DTs. Like, for real. I don't know what you're trying to do, man. Yeah. Ow. Ow. And that's a dead Dark Templar. He can't escape. Tried. He sure tried, but he couldn't get out there. Lurker aspect coming in from Sutter at about 9 minutes. Some High Templar are coming out now for WhiteRa. He's trying to establish this left side base, I would assume, based on this probe coming up. But there was a Ling patrolling. That'll delay a little bit. The Mutas are actually enough to take down these Corsairs now. Holy shamoly. Are all the Corsairs gone? He's not producing any more. Oh, he's making 1 more. Ugh, splash damage from Archons. Bad. Bad in StarCraft 1. Bad in StarCraft 2. He's kind of trying to replace his Corsair count, but like, it's dead. It's dead in the water. He has 1 Corsair. Is Soot going to take down WhiteRa in this game? Man, this thing goes in cycles. For a while, it felt like none of the Zerg players that I was casting could win against Protoss. Protoss looked really good, and now for a while, it's like Zerg's on a roll, man. both at like the high-level Korean level and both at the high-level foreigner level. And even the lower-level foreigner level. Zerg looking pretty good. Alright, so I got a probe, but you really can't engage with these Archons. Unless you spread out, you split, right? So the splash damage isn't a factor. Adrenal glands coming in. That's another dead Corsair. Maybe. Oh, he wants it, though. Oh, no, he doesn't. He wants that High Templar. That's bait. He got it anyway. Took some hits from the Corsair. Took a hit from the Archon. These are not healthy Mutalisks. That one has 10 HP. 10 hit points to his name. Not ideal. More Sunkens coming up all the time. Which, again, makes a lot of sense if you're worried about a big gateway army attacking you. Especially things like Archons. Sunken's not bad. Not bad against Archons. That range really helps, too. Yeah, but third base here coming up for WhiteRa after the fourth base has been established for some time here for Soot. Soot's macro is a little bit through the roof amazing. He's going to try to expand to the 12 o'clock next. I really can't see him going for this. This is way too close at the Protoss. You want to stay as far away from them as possible for the time being. At least until you have some big ticket items like the Defilers, with the Plague, with the Dark Swarm. Is he making a Defiler mound? Production tab says no. Interestingly enough, he's getting a lot of static defense. This is the most Sunkens I've seen in some time from a Zerg player against a Protoss. What is going on? What are you doing? Look how many hits it takes to kill this Zealot. It's like 20. It's like 20 Mutalisk hits to take that thing down. Not much. I mean, 9 damage. What's the splash that gets less and less over time? But if you're attacking a single target, there is no splash. So a lot of the Mutalisk DPS is calculated on, hey, that glaive is bouncing from unit to unit to unit. But if there's one thing, suddenly they're terrible. Top left for WhiteRa, taking a fourth base. And he's just trying to pull ahead here. If he's on 4 base to 4 base versus Soot and the worker count is fairly even, he's actually in a fantastic economic position. His units are going to be more cost efficient versus the Zerg player. Beautimus. Very, very beautiful play here today. Out of WhiteRa. Again, I liked what Soot was doing, but he's kind of hasn't expanded for a bit. They're teching up a lot. He's making a Defiler Mound now. He's making an Ultralisk Cavern, which I already hovered over here. This poor sacrificial zealot. Hey, go see what's in the natural base. Yes, prelate. I will return with a report. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, he didn't return. There's probably a lot of stuff there. Actually, everything he sees is instantly being transmitted, right, back to his boss. The Mutas might be able to take down this Nexus. There's nothing. There's nothing even on the way to stop this. The High Templar are like, we'll be there in 45 minutes, and the fourth base is canceled. Dang, Mutalisks. Getting some use here. This is why you don't just throw away your Mutalisks. Once there's Storm out and once there's Archons out, and just consider them a lost cause. You don't do it because you could do stuff like this. Adrenal Gland Zerglings with +0 attack. Pretty good, actually. Increasing their attack speed by 40% is not anything to sniff at. So it's still not taking a 5th. I guess this one would be the smarter one. Going for that 3 o'clock would be pretty intelligent. Zealot checking to make sure, is there a 5th base here? If there is, I'm in a lot of trouble. Soot has the resources for it, but he keeps pouring stuff into Defiler abilities like Consume. He's working on Chitinous Plating for the Ultralisks. WhiteRa trying to take the low ground expansion in the top left spawn. Ling Muta against 2 Archons with High Templar? No. I don't like it. I don't like the setup here at all. He got some shots off on the Nexus, which is not bad. Oh, the Lings really want to jump in, but the Storms. How many Storms are available? Well, 0 there, 0 there, 2 there, and 1 there. Okay, so 3 Storms left. Not bad. Pretty good for WhiteRa. Making Reavers to deal with the potential of Ultralisks, which he is definitely aware of at this stage of the game. Also, Reaver's pretty good against pretty much anything the Zerg player is going for. I mean, unless they're somehow making some giant mass Mutalisk army, I can't think of any reason that Reavers would be bad. Which mass Muta is just not viable, I would say. I do kind of want to cast a game one day. Oh, these High Templar, though. Hold up. Hold up. Oh, the Storm. Keeping them alive. Keeping them alive. 8 kills on that High Templar. Murdering several Zerglings to get there. Is this a drone? It is. You have 400 minerals. Just do it, man. All right, so it's doing it. 5th base. Morphing in. Mutating in. I suppose. But now we're in trouble. We have Ultralisks. We have bad pathing because the only way out for Ultras is along this bottom side. Ooh, Ling's got a High Templar. Ling's got another High Templar. This is really good play out of Soot. I'm telling you, these players that we've never heard of before, there are some good names out there that just didn't make the public consciousness, right? Just didn't quite become the WhiteRas of their time. Maybe didn't have as long a career as WhiteRa has, and maybe that's the difference between WhiteRa and Soot. I don't know. Look at him killing his own Sunken so the Ultras can actually get out of here. Lot of cannons up here at the 4th base, but nothing other than that. This is begging to get Dark Swarmed. I guess there is one High Templar with a lot of storms. So begging to get Dark Swarmed and Ling attacked here. Reaver says, hey, buddy. How you doing? And WhiteRa with his first really solid attack in some time here at the 15-minute mark. You might go after the 5th base, which has 0 units defending it, has a single Overlord ready to go. But Ling's coming from the north, are going to see this by accident, I think. And then, are we going to try to save this? I don't know if we're going to save this thing. The army's already on top of it. Map vision for Soot, a bit of a problem there, and his 5th base goes down with nary a fight at all. But suddenly, there are 1 million Ultralisks, and they have the speed upgrade, and they have 5 armor. And they're going to be really hard to kill for this traditional Protoss army without any Reavers in it. Yeah, this Dragoon's like, what did I do to deserve this? Why am I on the low ground? This Archon holding the line. Holding it as well as he can. No, I would force your way up there, man. Maybe you Dark Swarm the ramp and then go? That'd be pretty good. Oh, he's trapping WhiteRa's army in here, but guess what? Scourge attack into the main base, going after the Overlords with a DT drop coming in the main at the same time. Okay, well this is some exciting stuff right now. Ultra's coming from all sides. Dark Swarm is up. Archon's fighting inside the Dark Swarm. They're pretty comfortable in there. I gotta say, but that is too much Zerg for sure. But guess who's here? The Corsair DT attack at 17 minutes snipes the Spire, goes after the Evolution Chamber where +1 attack is happening for these Ultras and these Zerglings. Is he supply block Soot? He has, yes, and he has managed to supply block Soot. Nobody expects the surprise Corsair DT attack at 17 minutes. Dude, this other Evolution Chamber goes down. Holy smokes. WhiteRa kills the 5th base, loses his whole army, but... I mean, manages... Is he going to take down the Hive? These guys have +2 attack, 46 damage per swipe on those blades. And expands the top left. Okay, this is why WhiteRa is WhiteRa. This is why you know the name. This is why you clicked on this video, right? Right. Wow, so the Hive... Oh, free Defiler, too. Bad control there by Soot. He's got 3 kills, 2 kills, and 4 kills. But these kills are important tech structures, including the Hive. For the Zerg player. Hydra's coming in to deal with this. The Overlords do have speed, so the DTs are all dead. The Corsairs are going to try to kill these... Oh, hold on. DT's alive yet. Corsairs having a great time against those Overlords, finally getting chased away. Oh my gosh. Everything but the spawning pool here. Where are the Overlords? I thought there was one right here. There's one right there. There's a Sporeman. It can provide for your detection duties. Dude, this is really throwing Soot off. He's floating 2,000, 1,000 minerals right now. 6 kill DT and a 5 kill DT. Corsair's killing more Overlords. Soot kind of transitioning into Hydras, I guess. But do they even have... I guess they do have one of the upgrades. Do they? Where are they? How fast are you? You seem kind of slow, Hydras. Is that what's happening here? Dude, more Overlords down. And WhiteRa's going to expand to the 12 o'clock, too. This is bananas. There's nothing left of the main base for Soot at all. He does have 700 gas left in his main geyser. He's got a... I don't know. 1,500, 2,000 minerals remaining there in the main. Might as well throw up a hatch, I would say. He is making 6 more Ultras, because his Ultralist caverns at the top right, and his Defiler Mound is up here, too. Or maybe a replacement one is up here. I think originally that was down in the main. Regardless, I think a problem here for Soot is he's not taking the 5th base back. He's had the ability to. He's been holding on to it. He's had the resources available. He's got 57 drones and 2,000, 3,000 gas. Or rather, minerals. 3,000 minerals, not 3,000 gas. That'd be nuts. 500 gas it is, though. And he's maxed out with Ultralisks that don't have the +2 attack upgrade because that got canceled by the attack on the Evolution Chamber in the main base. That is a heck ton of Ultralisks, though. That is like a massively scary number of Ultralisks that Soot has managed to wrangle up here. Is he going to try to drop it? Oh, please drop it. All right, you have the Storm. Storm that ramp. Storm it good. You need a lot of Storm to kill Ultralisks. You'll get there eventually, but you need a lot of Storm to kill Ultralisks. Are these Dropper Lords, or are they just here for... They're just here for DT support, I would guess. All right. So another Dark Storm coming up. There's more High Templar wandering in here. The control maybe not particularly great for WhiteRa, but that's okay. Is there enough here for WhiteRa to hold on? The Archons are doing some work with their +2 attack. Wow. The Reaver sitting back, getting some free shots off here, too. That is a 5-kill Archon that just went down, ladies and gentlemen. Another Archon gonna die to these Ultralisks. It's too much, is what I'm telling you. It is too much Ultralisk, not enough Protoss right now. Additional Reavers are joining the party, getting big-time hits on these Ultras. Probes are getting massacred. Going after the Nexus at this point. DT in the mix here. There is an Overlord providing detection. Nothing to do with these Reavers, though. And this Ultralisk just trying to get out, but his pathing is freaking out on him. Ugh. Oh, nope, that got caught up. That will save that Ultralisk's life. Just kidding, the Archon and the Zealots will finish him. But he can run away with 30 HP because he has Anabolic Synthesis, which means he's been working out. He has good speed, but the Zealots do finish him eventually. Why not just kill this Archon, guys? You outnumber him a bajillion to 1. There we go. Yeah, Ling Ultra, good combo there. So, man, that base almost went down. It's Reavers here too, though. And Reavers here. All right, man. So the tech for WhiteRa is complete. He has Reavers to deal with these Ultralisks. Finally replacing his 5th base. I think that's off-center, like quite a bit, by Soot. Bit of a sloppy play here. APM still around 250 for this guy. Again, maxed out at 20 minutes with good upgrades. That +2 attack is going to finish now. I don't know. No. There's 3 Reavers here, man. That's not going to work out for you. I would almost... maybe try a drop. Right, get the drop upgrade, come around the south here, get on top of the main base, or really, this is the least defended base that WhiteRa has right now. I guess there's only one Reaver at the top left, which makes it fairly vulnerable to, again, an Ultralisk drop. These probes, don't look at us, Mr. Ultralisk. We're just heading over to this place. Reaver drop, top left. Doing all right for yourself, Mr. Reaver guy. That is such good positioning. These Lings are like, how do we get in here? They finally do. Scarab gets a posthumous kill for that Reaver. Another base from WhiteRa up north. This is getting dicey for Soot. He has taken the 6 o'clock, which is nice, but these Zealots are going to ruin it. And by that I mean it's dead. You're not saving that base. There is no Zerg within the general vicinity enough to save it. There's even a drone transfer coming down here that's going to be very ill-fated. Get those drones out of there. Why? Soot, no. Okay, well, he was above 50 workers. Now he's at 42. Yikes, that was brutal. And then the response time. But, like, at this point, it's too late, man. All these Zealots are going to die, but WhiteRa sent them down here to die. The fact that they killed the hatch without taking any casualties is a massive victory for him. Look at the hold on the ramp right now for WhiteRa. That's so good. The Zealots, the Zealots are holding the ramp. The Ultras can't get up and get a surround on them, so this guy ends up getting way more damage done than he otherwise would be. Insane. DT is heading up, trying to get something done. But, I mean, the DT defense in the bases other than the main... Again, unless you have giant Corsair support, and you do right now, if you're WhiteRa, with 5 of them. 3 kills on that Mutalisk, heading on back home. I mean, at this point, if WhiteRa is going to go ahead and split the map in half, he's cool. He is beyond cool with this. No complaints. No complaints at all. Hey, look, a Greater Spire out of Soot. We are seeing this more often in games than I was led to believe that we would see them in games when I first started casting Brood War, guys. Like, I don't remember seeing a lot of Guardians when I was watching professional casts back in the day. To be fair, when we see Guardians today, they show up, accomplish a mission, and then all die. So that's good. This Reaver sitting back here behind a Zealot wall. The Zealot wall is kind of falling apart, but there's a backup Reaver to the backup Reaver here. More High Templar joining the party. This ramp is going to get stormed all day. All the livelong day here. And if you buffer for the Reaver, he's going to be a little bit more effective. And by that, I mean a lot more effective. Already has 6 kills. Didn't have Scarabs there for a minute, so just kind of sitting this one out for a second. Gets a huge hit off on that Ultralisk. And then kills it. And then kills that one too. Dude, what a hold. That was a lot of stuff that Soot threw up here, but all the Ultras are gone. I don't think many probes died here at all. WhiteRa still sitting at 55 probes to his name. Wow. This is some crazy, crazy, crazy pants, man. All right, 176 to 149 supply. Again, WhiteRa has not lost a base. Just kidding. He did lose his 4th base when it was on the way up. But other than that, he's not lost a base today. And I guess technically, Soot's only lost 1. This one was barely done when it got killed. Regardless, he's got the 6 o'clock base secured. But the bases are split in half. The map has equal number of bases. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases. Here for Soot, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases for WhiteRa. In the middle, maybe Soot can take the middle and get the economic advantage that he needs. But we've seen the cost efficiency here of WhiteRa's army, with the Reavers and the High Templar especially, and the Archons. They're big ticket expensive items that trade well cost for cost, and they've been doing it here today. Where is Soot going to attack? Like he's patrolling around, just trying to make sure that nothing bad happens to him. Does pick off a Corsair, which is a big win. And it is Guardians. Where on earth are these Guardians morphing in? And Devourers! What? I didn't even think he would make Devourers. Okay. Captain Planet. Or whatever, I guess. I don't even know. Okay, man. Devourers and Guardians. You know what's good against both those things? Like, Storm. Storm is good against both of those things. So we'll see how long the Guardians last. They just hatched here. It's 2754, right? They're going to accomplish one thing, which is killing a cannon or 2, which they have done. Then get stormed into oblivion. Take cannon shots because they love drifting into cannons more than anything in their whole life. 0-0 Guardians, man. What else do you want with your life? These Devourers are like waiting for Corsairs to show up or something. Kind of like it. No. Focus. There you go. All right, High Templar dies. That's a victory. Holy engagement in the middle. A meeting of the armies right here. Yeah, this is pretty good. That's a lot of Archons. That's a lot of Storm. WhiteRa is going to win this battle handily. He's up 171 to 114 total supply. The Guardians are here. If this is the game where Guardians are used as like the game-winning unit, I'm going to be extremely surprised. Hey, hey, Devourers. Guys, come over. Help. Are you... Why are the Devourers not engaged here? Okay, taken away an assimilator there for WhiteRa at the 12 o'clock. That's pretty good. Slowing down the gas income for WhiteRa. He's sitting on 3,000 gas, though. His bank is 3,200, so he's going to be fine. The Guardians, the micro here is actually pretty decent out of Soot for the most part, getting free hits off on everything. Why are you bringing the army up here? That's not a good place for the army to be. He actually took a shot on his own Dark Templar there. I guess if they wander into Dragoon range, as they love to do, they will take Dragoon shots. It is 20 damage per shot, but it's a pretty slow attack rate. Look at that, moving the High Templar. Oh, never mind. It was safe for a second. And it's still not dying for reasons of war is chaos, mostly. Reaver dropped down here at the 6 o'clock base, wipes out pretty much everything that Soot has going down here. There are no drones on the premises anymore. The Ultras are trying to fight, but the Archon count is a little bit too high for their taste. These Guardians, 10 HP, 31 HP. You catch another storm to the face, and another one goes down. Another one bites the dust. Boom, boom, boom. Another one bites the dust, and another one comes, and another one comes, another one bites the dust. Dragoon goes down to a Guardian. It is a Christmas miracle. This base gets wiped out by Reavers, and they take down the hatchery, too, at the 6 o'clock. The 12 o'clock for WhiteRa is in a lot of trouble. Yes, in fairness, he's replaced this assimilator under all this Guardian fire, which just shows you how much pressure he's actually under with these Guardians here. The spoiler alert, it's not a lot. More Archons trying to come up here. The Corsairs can't handle this because Secret Devourers. Oh, jeez. The storms, though. The storms. I mean, Soot's done fairly well making sure these guys don't immediately die. He's been continually replacing them, though, which is an issue. All right, so now we river drop the 3 o'clock base. I don't know if he has an observer here or just the splash damage from killing that drone killed that lurker. I think that's what that was. All right. Corsairs, Devourers, Guardians. What are these shenanigans today? Look, if you ever wondered why we don't see Guardians and Devourers that much, take a look at the overall supply here. Take a look at how well Soot is doing. And look at the tactical choices that he made today. He's going to kill this assimilator for the 3rd time in this game. WhiteRa keeps replacing it, and it keeps dying. Is he making more? He's making more Guardians. Like, at some point, don't you just... I mean, he can't really afford to make a lot of Guardians. I was going to say, you make like 12 of them, right? Is this Reaver just... Is this new to this area? Maybe new to this area. He only has 1 kill. WhiteRa at 171 supply. The Ultras show up. The shuttle gets the Reaver out of there. And again, this 12 o'clock, if it dies, and Soot can hang on to the 6 o'clock, Soot has a decent chance to win this game. But if you look at the banks, again, 2,000, 1,700 for WhiteRa, 500, 100 for Soot. The disparity is incredibly apparent. Several drones are going down here. Still 50 for WhiteRa. More Storm being used on these Guardians. It takes 3 hits for a Guardian to kill a probe with it has no upgrades at all. Which, man, you're making so many Guardians. Like, maybe get +1 attack for flyers. I don't know, man. WhiteRa kind of seems to be confused by this whole thing. It's like, who? Why does it keep making Guardians? I just kill them. It's an excellent, and it's a very fair point you're making here, WhiteRa. Oh, he baited the Guardians in and then stormed them in the face. This High Templar has not enough energy for any more storms for a minute. Corsair shows up. Devourers get some shots off. Corsair gets out of there. We've seen this story before. 1v1. Corsair with +1 attack and +3 shields versus no upgrades Devourers. Place your bets, ladies and gentlemen. The Corsair gets out of there because the acid spores stack, man. They're doing more damage. Okay, they don't do damage, but they mean the damage you're taking is increased over time, and now that Corsair is dead. Oh, 9 HP, though. Hold up. That fire rate is the slowest darn thing in the entire game. Maybe Reaver fire rates are slower. This has, like, been the craziest. Okay, so WhiteRa decides I'm going to take down the 6 o'clock base. That is my key to victory. I can't really handle this, apparently. Don't ask me about it. It's annoying. I'm up 70 supply on my opponent, though, so I'm just going to roll down here. There are not enough Ultralisks present. Soot, he had a good opening, man. He did really well for himself through the first 4 bases of his plan. Corsair's showing up, just focusing down the Guardians. Storm helping to finish them off as well. The Guardians, there are still a few of them around because, again, Soot loves those things, but this southern base is toast. The 6 o'clock is donezo. Dun, 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 dun. I think WhiteRa can just sit here and be like, you know what? Harass my 12 o'clock all you want. I'm never letting you have this base. You're mined out of everywhere else except for this 3 o'clock. I'm going to keep making individual Corsairs to handle your annoying Guardians with no upgrades at all. Mind you, that High Templar has enough energy for 1 storm. I like the split on the Guardians. It's honestly pretty cool. My gosh, Devourers take so long to kill anything, though. They're support units. The intent here was that you splashed all this goop on your enemies, and then Mutas came in and destroyed everything else. This is not what you're playing. He is making Mutalisks, but he keeps turning them into Guardians instead of using them as Mutalisks, which maybe, I don't know, might be better. Dude, these just straight up taking down Devourers now with these Corsairs. I mean, this game is over. It's not over, because no one has GG'd yet, but by golly, 197 to 126 supply. Base count favors WhiteRa. He's taking the southern base. Guardians. This is honestly like... I don't know. I don't want to say lame, but it's the weakest... kind of least aggressive Guardian harassment I've ever seen. He just keeps showing up with like 1 or 2 Guardians, kind of DPSing a little bit. A Corsair arrives. If Soot wins this game, I'm eating my hat. I don't see it, man. I don't see it at all. Soot, good macro, some bad decision making. He attacked some bases he shouldn't have. He never went for drops, which I really feel like is key for Zerg against both Terran and Protoss, is getting drops for your drop lords. I guess they're not drop lords until they have drops. So getting drops for your overlords to make them dropper lords, and then just drop it all over the place. These straight up engagements in the middle of the map, hard to pull off. But being where the Protoss army is not, murdering their army, being able to have a better economy than your Protoss. Wait, hold up. Murdering their economy, then having a better economy than your Protoss enemy. That's the way to do it. This stuff, especially with the DTs, and that's your good game. Soot taps out with a 1G. Oh. Oh no, was he throwing shade at WhiteRa? Did he 1G WhiteRa? Soot. Soot, come on, man. That was not very nice. I mean, it was a little bit nice. 1G is better than, like, actually insulting WhiteRa, I suppose. Regardless, that was fun. That was a pretty darn fun game between these two players. We got Devourers and Guardians today. We got Ultralisks. We got Archons. We got everything you'd ever want out of the Protoss player. He didn't go for anything crazy, though. Just the DTs. You know, that's probably the craziest thing he went for, which is not all that crazy. So, yeah, again, it's economic, guys. 12 o'clock base belonged to WhiteRa. Even if Soot had the 6 o'clock, it was going to be even, and WhiteRa was going to win, but he lost it to WhiteRa, and that was it. That's all it really took here. And really, no real harassment of any other bases of WhiteRa. The one attack here, the one time there was a small attack here, and then canceling his 4th base, and that was it. The rest of the time, he was on the defensive. The rest of the time, he was trying to use like 4 Guardians to take down entire bases of WhiteRa, which is not how you do. It turns out. Pro tip, not how you do. End of the day, though. 349,000 points for WhiteRa, 309 for Soot. 700 rather, Zerg units produced today to 300 Protoss units. But when your kill-death ratio is 500 to 200, you're going to be all right. A 5-2 kill-death ratio is pretty amazing. Ended up pretty even on structures there. Resources, about even. And if you're a Zerg player against WhiteRa, you need to be better than about even versus him, or you will die. That's just how it's going to work. It's unfair, but it's the truth. You knew this when you signed up for Zerg. Maybe you didn't. You probably know now. All right, good stuff. So Soot is not going to go on my list of Zerg players to watch, I don't think. Again, the first 4 bases were great. They were really good. I liked what his Mutalisks were doing. He was keeping him alive. He was able to cancel WhiteRa's 4th base, which was super good. And then from there, it kind of went all downhill. There were just too many Reavers, too many Archons, too much Storm. WhiteRa had all the pieces that he needed, and Soot just needed to go into drop, and he didn't. And we've seen this before. All right, good. That is going to be it from me. This has been Falcon Paladin coming at ya with yet another edition of StarCraft Brood War Remastered. Go ahead, hit that like button, hit that subscribe. If you like what you saw and what you heard today, you can also catch me on Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, and Twitch, all at /Falcon Paladin. And until next time, as always, thank you so much for watching, and you take care of yourself.